All right, welcome to our pre-Thanksgiving nutrition pep talk. And this is as much for ourselves as it is for all of you. So we are happy to do this and just to get ourselves, it's just super important to go into a holiday, I feel, with the right frame of mind. So I have to let my dog out. So
Take
Lauren,
over. Yeah, I'll take over. Yeah. Okay. So I just kind of want to share a few tips that I utilize going into a holiday week. Because one thing I just want to keep in mind, like it's a holiday, it's not a month, right? Which is so easy. We literally go from like a candy filled holiday to, like a couple weeks then into a big meal of legit, like how many carb side dishes can you make? Which don't get me wrong, I enjoy all of them.
Yes,
But
all of them.
there's, it's one day and then we go right into holiday appetizer and in some instances for some people cocktail season that just goes on and on and on and on into one big meal again. And then I feel like from Christmas to New Year's, it's like lay around, do nothing, and just eat all the leftovers and eat all the food and the cookies and everything, because then you're going to wrap up the new year with a big party or a big get together to just start fresh again. And
Yeah.
so it's just very easy to go down a slippery slope. So I always like to tell people, like, as you're going into the holiday week, just keep that in mind. Like you've worked really hard for your goals, or you've made changes that you're really working hard to implement. And it's not that you can't enjoy the day, because I'm going to tell you in a little bit like how I do things, but just keep that in mind, like every day as you're inching towards that holiday, that you put in the work and that you still need to continue to just keep showing up for you, because it's not about a scale number or a size number. It's about feeling good. And so I love walking into Thanksgiving just rocking a new outfit, even if it's a new shirt or a new pair of pants, because I feel like I worked hard to do that and I feel good and I feel confident because I've been taking care of my body, not just by working out, but drinking my water and getting in foods that feel real good and getting things into my head and my ears that make me feel confident in who I am as a person. So as you go into these days, whether you um, work or you don't work or you're coming into family time, like I always just make sure that I always have my water bottle with me. Like I'm still working on my water goals every single day. So as I start to get together, because like in my family, like my brother and sister-in-law will start to come in on Wednesday evening. And so my mother-in-law, who pretty much food is her love language, and she wants to make sure that she has the best spread out there. And trust me, it's amazing. She's always got food out there, and they drink cocktails like I've never seen a family drink cocktails before. And I used to enjoy that, but it gets to be a lot. And it starts, for me, it'll start to go down a slippery slope of then like my inhibitions of keeping away from some of the foods is hard, right? So I just make sure that I drink a lot of water. I make sure I get my shake in before I go. I drink it later in the day. I make sure that like my breakfast is on point. My lunch is just chocked full of veggies. Like it's just a ton of veggies that I'm eating throughout the day and snacking in that manner. And then I also, if I know that I'm going to be coming with something, I bring something that I feel a little bit more confident eating. So like a veggie tray. And my mother-in-law, like I feel like it's totally okay to share with your family goals that you have, because you want to just, you're gonna eat some of that stuff, but to have, so my mother-in-law always has a veggie tray, or she'll make a salad, and bless her heart, she's always like, I did really well. I made this huge salad that's filled with like all kinds of stuff in it. But I appreciate that, right? So I sometimes ask her to put some dressing on, like put a bunch of it to the side with dressing off of it so I can just add, because I tell her, I'm like, I'm just a dipper. I just dip my salad. So it's okay to share that kind of stuff and bring a dish that's really more in line with what you have. And then when I plate my food for Thanksgiving, I like to add in my protein and my veggies most, even though I'm a portion fix girl. I try to fill in as many veggies and stuff like that so that there's very little room for my cornbread and my mashed potatoes and my gravy. But I do have that. I just try to make it so that, because I don't like a lot of stuff mixing. So I try to make sure that I kind
Yep.
of have my space. So those are a few of my tips for the holiday week.
Yeah, that's exactly my approach too. And whenever we're planning our meals, for Thanksgiving. I mean, this year will be a little different because we're actually with family. Last year it was just the two of us. So this is going to be great, and we're super excited for that. And we've already chatted with my daughter-in-law. We've planned everything out. We've invited a few, their friends to dinner too. So it's going to be a nice big gathering. And both my son and I are gluten intolerant and dairy free. So, we're going to make sure we have those options for us, and just kind of keeping things a little on the healthier side. So, which is nice that, it's not just one person, but even if it were just one person, it's nice, to be considerate about the people coming. And I always ask people if they have food allergies or sensitivities when they're coming to eat at my house, because I don't want to be that hostess that's like, oh, you can just eat that. It's not going to hurt you, and pushing people to eat things that they know aren't good for them. So, so I practice, compassion that way, food compassion, should we say. So I'm in charge of making a salad. I'm doing a charcuterie board that I found on the To Be Mindset. I think it was on Body. There was a Thanksgiving recipes for the To Be Mindset. So lots of suggestions for that. I think I have it pulled up.
Okay, good. Because I was going to say we can pull that up too. One thing I want to let you guys know is there's so many resources. And if you look on just Beachbody On Demand, if you only have Beachbody On Demand, go into Fixate. There's a ton of recipes in there. If you have Body, in the To Be Mindset and in the Portion Fix, there's a bunch of things in there too. That looks so yummy.
Doesn't that
That's so good.
So I'm going to make like the whipped feta and figure out how to do that for those that can eat it. But I also have like a plant-based dip, and I've got hummus that I'll add into it. But like, look at those, all those beautiful vegetables.
Yeah, that looks awesome. I actually might pull that and take that to my mother-in-law's.
Now, the one thing I'm not sure about is what is bresaola, because that's what these roast.
I'm gonna look it up while you're.
It's a kind of meat, I think, as I read.
Oh,
It's a kind of meat, but I still wasn't really familiar with it.
I've never even heard of that.
I haven't either.
It's salami.
Okay. All right. Yeah, and I also I ordered some like salami slices from Thrive Market that are, organic and sort of healthy-ish. So I've got that to add to it too, and some, a small thing of nuts. So I'm just going to sort of take my inspiration from this, got some Greek olives, things on the side. So I'm going to put that all together for people to snack on beforehand, and do have gluten-free crackers and some bread, little pieces of bread and stuff too. So
that's awesome. I love that. That's a great idea.
Yeah. So there's just, oh, hold on, my dogs.
While she goes and lets the dogs out, I also on the Beachbody blog, I was on there, and if you just look up and search for Thanksgiving, there's Healthy Fixate Thanksgiving recipes, 20 healthy Thanksgiving recipes, and recipe swaps for healthier Thanksgiving. Those are on there too. So there's a ton of different things that you can utilize. But I love it. Yeah, pull up. That's great.
This is
Pull that up.
If you have Body, which I think a lot of people do, this is where do you find nutrition stuff? Is it down at the bottom?
Down at the bottom.
Yeah. So To Be Mindset. So like meal plans and recipes for To Be Mindset. And I follow Gut Protocol mostly, but I also pull things from got, from 2B Mindset and from just Portion Fix. So, I think, yeah, so these were some, like, here's a green bean casserole that she's healthified, and some cabbage that looks amazing. Sheet pan Thanksgiving for two. So she's got so many great ideas here that, are adaptable for people to be able to find healthier versions of recipes they love. So yeah, anyway, and then if you go to recipes on Beachbody On Demand and hit the search button, or you can search recipes here. Let's say we wanted a pumpkin pie. And we just see what pulls up here. So there's 6 different pumpkin things, but these pumpkin pie cups look pretty amazing.
Those do look good. Those pumpkin whoopie pies.
Yeah, pumpkin whoopie pies. Those look amazing. Pumpkin pie energy bites. Those pancakes look delicious too. So, if you are wanting something, if you just search pumpkin, there's lots of things with pumpkin in them. Pumpkin bread. So lots of healthier options for that. So, so many recipes here that you just don't really even need to go anywhere else. I feel like.
Yeah, for sure. That's awesome. Yeah. So I think like just, by kind of doing a little bit of digging and doing a little bit of planning, like you can still enjoy the day. Like don't go into the day feeling like I can't eat any of this or I can't enjoy it. Like go into the mindset and be like, I'm going to enjoy this. I'm going to just be present in the moment and just enjoy the memory that we're creating today. But just keep in mind, like, because I did all the things I needed to do beforehand. I got my shake in, I moved my body this morning, I got my water in. If you go into that and like I use my water first a lot during that time. So like for me, if I'm gonna have a cocktail, I make sure I drink 8 ounces of water before I have a cocktail. And so my husband knows, like he made me one cocktail and I go through that faster than I planned, he knows that I'm on water next, right? Because it helps keep me, just staying focused on the goals that I need to do. And in turn, I probably only end up having a drink or two maybe during the holiday season, or the night, which is great because for me, I have goals that I want to wake up the next day and get my workout in and, do it all over again. And I already know that I'm going to need the water because the quantity of salt that's in so much of the foods, especially if you go to somebody else's house. So, making sure that you have that water and makes a big difference. And then, doing some sort of movement. And the other thing too, if it's not too cold by where you're at, see if you can get some people to do a little walk around the block or two after dinner and make a little memory that way, right? Look up Christmas lights of whoever's up there and stuff. I always try to ask my family, but they don't ever want to. But I live like 2 blocks from home. So every Thanksgiving night, I always bring my coat, my hat, my gloves because I walk home. Even though it's only 2 blocks, I still walk home just to get a little bit of body movement in on my way home. So
Yeah, and this year, my husband and I and my 2 sons are all running in a turkey trot that morning. So that would be fun. That's kind of our family tradition. We love to run turkey trots, even, it's not like it's super competitive. It's often just run, walk, whatever, So yeah, that is definitely part of our tradition, is just get lots of movement in.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
I wanted to share just a little mindset tip with you too, that one of the women in my group was talking to me and a couple other women on a chat this morning, and she just started the gut protocol like 2.5 weeks ago. And she started because she just found out she has PCOS, PCOS, PCOS,
PCOS.
And so she started because she was feeling terrible all the time. And, she started reading that, oh, if you stop eating gluten and dairy and cut out all these other common sensitivities, then it's better for your PCOS. So, so she thought about it. She said she really did think about it for probably a week and a half or so, because she wanted to make sure that she was committed. And what she said was, during that week, that 10 days or so, while she was thinking about it, she said, I spent a lot of time just visualizing myself during the holidays saying no to things, and saying why I was going to say no, like reminding myself that I'm saying no to having treats with dairy and gluten in them because I don't want to feel terrible. I want to feel better. And she said, so I visualized myself saying that. And she said, once I realized, kind of thought through all of that, then I was like, okay, I think I'm ready to do this because I'm doing it for the right reason, instead of, oh, I really shouldn't eat that. Oh, but then we go ahead and do, and we feel terrible. It's not, that's not the right reason, right mindset that's going to help you make the best choices for your body. If you know it's something that's going to make you feel awful the next day, just visualize yourself saying no, saying, I don't need that right now. When I say no to this, that means I'm saying yes to something else. I'm saying yes to feeling healthy, to feeling not bloated, to feeling more energy. These are the things I'm saying yes to by saying no to the cheesecake or whatever it is. So, and then, like Lauren said, it's not that you can't have things. It's, have a few bites. Just, just remind yourself you're going to feel better if you don't have several helpings of things. But if you enjoy all the things in moderation with little bites to taste, I always like that phrase from the To Be Mindset, a bite just to taste. Sometimes just having that little taste of chocolate pie or whatever is enough for me. I don't need a whole piece. So that's my mindset hack for the holidays.
I like it. I like it. I think it's really, yeah, I think it's huge. Like going in, believing how you want to feel and do that and know how you feel. Like I love telling my people, journal the days that you feel like you're on fire, like you're just living your best, like capture that, because that can help you on the days when it's really hard on what to do. Because it can be hard. Like people can give you a hard time by like, what do you mean you don't want this, or what do you mean you don't want that? I dealt with that for a long time when my brother and sister-in-law would come in, and we used to drink a lot. I mean, we were never like, crazy ridiculous, but it's just what they do. And that's what I did for years. And when I went back to, if I had drinks, it would be one or two, I got a lot of criticism. And finally, now they leave me be, but I think that it's important to just stand your ground and be like, no, I'm good, thank you. I'm good with water, or I'm good with, whatever. Like sometimes my husband will make me a mocktail and he'll put nothing in it. And that was another way I kind of combated stuff, right? Like he would make it for me with nothing in it, or he would make it so that it was in the in the cup, so nobody questioned me. So that was just a couple ways that I dealt with that.
Mm-hmm. That's great. Marcia, you've been doing this for a few years now. So do you have any tips that you've used for?
Well, for Thanksgiving, I've always just kind of let everything go and not really made a big deal about, not having all the casseroles that are crazy. But this year I'm standing my ground, and we are having the, green bean casserole and the sweet potato casserole and yada, yada, yada. But I want to have, and I've designed, meals or dishes that will be healthy so that, I can have what I, want. And we're doing a charcuterie board too for our appetizer, and I'm not doing 10 different things. I'm just having the charcuterie board. That's it. So
Good.
I have cut back a lot. I should have done something like what you suggested, but I signed that off on somebody else. So anyway,
No, and I feel like just knowing that you can go into a holiday meal that's all about the food and appreciate that this is a great way to celebrate and be thankful for the abundance in our lives. This feast
Mhm.
full all of our abundant blessings, and appreciate it for that without feeling like you have to internalize all of it.
Right.
Literally.
But I think remembering, Lauren, when you said it's a holiday,
Mhm.
that's a big one. That's big.
Yeah.
And our place was always, we have the leftovers all at our place, and so everybody leaves and they leave their leftovers with us. So it's not just a holiday, it's a holiday weekend.
Mhm.
Yeah. Mhm.
So,
But
and
I
those
think
are,
like to keep that in mind, like, cause sometimes my mother-in-law, she used to keep it all. And like I was always grateful, although I could always go for a second helping, right? But I was grateful that it wasn't in my house. But my husband started saying to his mom, like, hello, we'd like leftovers. So what I have started to do is like when he pulls all that out, is I will eat a big salad with turkey. You know what I mean? And
Mhm.
then maybe
Yeah.
put some cranberries on the side. Or, like I'll do that kind of stuff, and I stick away from like any of the casseroles or whatever, and I let the kids eat all that stuff. But I might have just a little bit of it with a big old salad, and I eat that first and my protein first before I have any of that. So that might be helpful too
Yeah.
for those out there that are like, oh, I have all
Yeah.
these leftovers, or I want some. Like, okay, just keep that in mind. Like, utilize your portions while
Mhm.
you're doing
Yeah.
your, you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
So,
That's good. That's
mhm.
good.
All right. Well, I feel better. I feel
Yeah.
ready to get the holiday week. And
We fly back tomorrow, so it's like
okay.
sit down running and getting ready for the holidays.
Yeah,
So,
for sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's great.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let me stop this.